And what is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV today. Friday night, October the 5th, was another absolutely tremendous night in the world of independent wrestling as the premier organization in all of New York City for independent wrestling, House of Glory, took things to the extreme at the NYC Arena for Extreme Warfare 2018, and we are going to talk about it right here and right now. My name is Nick Nightmare, and you are watching the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's Extreme Warfare Review. Let's do it.
The Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
All right, wrestling fans, thank you so much for joining me. House of Glory took over Jamaica, Queens once again this past weekend and absolutely floored the wrestling world with Extreme Warfare. Another in the continued line of succession that these great shows that have just been coming at us one after another. The crowd on this night was great and the action was even greater. Personally, I was not my normal, usual, exuberant self. As earlier in the day, I had woken up, I was not feeling good all day long. I was feeling so bad that I actually had to consider, just for a moment, maybe not attending last night's event. But as the day went on, my feelings started to get a little bit better, and it still did affect me to the most part. Some of you guys that know me and sat around me might have thought maybe something was wrong with me, and you might not have been incorrect, because I was just not really feeling like myself. However, House of Glory was doing what they always do, and they made me feel better with every minute that I spent inside the NYC Arena watching this show. It was absolutely a fun time to be had. If you were in New York City and you didn't come out to the show, you totally missed out. What were you doing? Saving your energy? You were sleeping early, trying to wake up for the Super Showdown Saturday morning? What are you, an idiot? You should have been there with us Friday night, having the time of your life at House of Glory. We had Rich Swann in the house. He was more than welcoming to each and every fan that came in. He was absolutely great to meet. Such a great guy, man. He was so respectful, very, very giving of his time. Just such a pleasure to be around. Definitely glad that he is doing what he loves to do in a place that doesn't keep him held down, like on 205 Live. Rich Swann is a top-notch talent. He took it to the extreme himself on this night in the Tag Team Championship matchup, which we will talk about later on. We had Kimber doing the same thing. Kimber, some of you guys may know from the WWE's Mae Young Classic last year as Abby Laith. She has been one of the shining beacons of women's wrestling that I have been exposed to over the last year and a half or so, and having her in House of Glory to challenge for the Women's Championship was absolutely great. The match was the main event of the evening, and a historic match it was, and a great match at that. But even better was just how she was in person. Absolutely sweet as pie. You just can't get a better feeling than when you're at House of Glory. It's just a laid-back, relaxed atmosphere. Everybody's so giving of their time. All of the House of Glory roster makes themselves available to you prior to the show and during intermission. Why you guys are not here, I don't understand. Instead of sitting in your home watching this show, which I absolutely appreciate, you should come down to the show, see it for yourself live, so that you know that I'm not full of shit. And I'm not like Michael Cole giving you a bunch of hyperbole, telling you how great something is that actually isn't, because House of Glory is greater than I can even explain to you guys. You don't understand the feeling that you get. You know who does understand the feeling? The people that go. People like subscribers to this channel, my very good friends Wally and Jason, 2 loyal subscribers to this show that came out to House of Glory. We sat together, we had a great time. The Sledgehead Army was in full effect at House of Glory once again. Lots of you guys out there, I don't know why some of you guys didn't come say hello, but I did know that you guys were there. I just didn't have time to come say hello myself. I was hoping to see much more of you guys at the show, but for all of you that were there, I can't thank you guys enough for supporting House of Glory and supporting the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show at the same time. It was great to meet every one of you guys, and I promised a very special little girl a special shout out on this show. So here's a very special shout out to my littlest sledgehead, Samantha. She is the daughter of Wally, and she is just a sweetheart of a girl. She was asking me questions that just kept making me laugh. Do me one favor, Samantha. Do not ever lose your love and your passion for professional wrestling. And she's just very proud to be Puerto Rican. She's a huge fan of LAX and Sonya Strong. And she just, watching her enjoy the show made me enjoy the show even more. I love seeing the next generation fully invested and feeling how I imagine I felt when they were their age. And she just, you know, kids, when they enjoy a show, just bring a whole level of magic to your enjoyment as well. Some of you guys might know what I'm talking about. Some of you guys might be like, what the fuck are you talking about? I came here to listen to you talk about the House of Glory show. I'm telling you about the House of Glory show because it's more than just wrestling. House of Glory's roster is a family. House of Glory's fan base is a family. There are so many familiar faces. You get to see each other over and over because you're loyal to the company. You guys know each other, even if it's just a general nod in each other's direction. It's a huge gathering of like-minded people, and it's just a fantastic night when House of Glory comes to town, as they proved once again at Extreme Warfare, which kicked off with a Richie's Way. I could care less about what way Richie wants things to be, but this was a very interesting segment for him to have, as his guests on this show this time were larger than life, the tag team duo of TJ Marconi and Really Big Brian Burgundy. And apparently there is some tension brewing in one of the most popular tag teams in all of House of Glory. Everybody loves TJ and the littlest big man of House of Glory, Brian Burgundy. It's just, all of a sudden there seems to be something there. I don't think that Richie was the one to make this happen. I have a feeling that this is something TJ's been feeling for a long time. Maybe he's starting to feel like having to have this little guy at his side is bringing him down. They haven't had too much success in the tag team division throughout the last year. So would he be wrong in his assumption? Most likely not. But there is definitely some sort of a tension brewing in Larger Than Life, and we will talk a little bit more about that in the next matchup, which was the Vinny the Voice Memorial Battle Royal. Now, as I came into House of Glory's picture as a fan, Vinny had already left us. Okay, I never got the pleasure to meet this person who is so very well loved and respected and missed by all of the people that I love and respect in House of Glory. So obviously I am going to give him my respect. And Vinny the Voice, a beloved brother of House of Glory, which we lost, I think they said 4 years ago or 5 years ago, and this was the 4th anniversary of his Memorial Battle Royal, which featured a lot of up-and-comers, a lot of people I didn't even know who they were just by seeing them. And they did announce everybody, but I didn't have a pen and paper, and I apologize that I did not get everybody's name down. But we also had some high-profile athletes in here, the 2 biggest ones of note being Evander James and Monte Kia, who would end up winning this match in tremendous fashion. Monte Kia, the buttery superstar, that slippery bastard, found his way into this match and got the win in this very, very meaningful and important battle royal to the staff of House of Glory and to the fans. And it was a great battle royal. It was a lot of fun to watch, as battle royals mostly are. I was pulling for my buddy Evander James from the Trust. I wanted to see him win this thing, maybe start to gain a little bit of momentum back for his career, but that did not happen here. But it was a very good, very, very good battle royal. The biggest story coming out of that battle royal is what we touched upon when we were talking about Larger Than Life. Brian Burgundy, to the shock and amazement of the House of Glory crowd, eliminated TJ Marconi from this Battle Royal. I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked. And I was even more shocked that when Brian Burgundy would subsequently be thrown over the top rope by somebody else, landing in the arms of TJ Marconi, his tag team partner, Marconi dropped him. Dropped him like a bad habit right on the concrete floor, eliminating Brian Burgundy from this Battle Royal. There is a lot left to be told in this story, and I am very excited to see where it may go. We might be seeing the dissolving of one of House of Glory's most popular tag teams, but I think it might be time for TJ to start taking things a little bit more seriously, and maybe he could find himself challenging for the Crown Jewel Championship at some point. But let's not jump the gun right now. They are still a tag team. They are still friends, but there are bumps in the road for larger than life. And that was the end of the pre-show festivities, and we would kick off the main show with a great tag team matchup featuring my good buddies, one of my favorite tag teams in all of House of Glory, the first tag team I actually got to see wrestle in House of Glory, which was the New York Wrecking Crew, and they took on the Royal Masons, Matthew Ryan Shapiro's new bunch of filthy animals, and I absolutely loved this match. This was an intense matchup between the two. A lot of backstory here. The New York Wrecking Crew, as many of you House of Glory fans know, was the team of Matthew Ryan Shapiro before he dumped them, kicked them to the curb for the snobby, arrogant, rich Royal Masons, and I'm sure it has a lot more to do with this than anything else. That greedy son of a bitch Shapiro always wants us to buy his stuff. He's always yelling, buy my stuff. So this guy's obviously all about the money, and he's not loyal. His loyalty is not there, because if he was a loyal guy, he would have stuck with one of the best tag teams in the world, the New York Wrecking Crew. This match was great. It did finish in a double disqualification. There was no winner here. This thing just absolutely spilled out into a Donnybrook, and they could not get control of anything. It was just a great way to kick off the show. Very, very intense, very extreme, and I'm giving it 5 thumbs up, 5 stars. I'm starting to come around on the Masons as talent. You know, they're not my kind of team. I'm not really going to root for them as a fan. I'm more of a House of Gangone kind of guy, as you guys can see. But I appreciate what they're bringing to the table. These guys generate real heat. They are not afraid to say the things that need to be said to make you absolutely want to shove your fist right down their throat. They are overly snobby, overly arrogant. They are borderline racist at times, and it's fantastic because it makes you want to see somebody kick their fucking teeth out. And I love the packaging of the Masons, and you put that Weasley fat bastard with them, and it makes it even more amplified, and the Royal Masons are going to be big deals in House of Glory. But already a big deal in House of Glory is the Wrecking Crew. It was great to see them back. I am so happy that Chris Seaton is back and Smooth Blackman doing their thing as the best tag team, one of the best tag teams in House of Glory. And I'm giving this match even more high praise and even such a great review because Chris Seaton wanted to come up to me and ask me and tell me in a somewhat, I wouldn't want to say threatening, but it was at least, it was a serious tone. Like, hey man, no bad reviews, all right? And I told him the truth. I was like, bro, you don't get bad reviews from me. I love House of Glory and I love the Wrecking Crew, so you'll never get a bad review from me. So at the risk of not being punched in the face, I don't want him to hit me ever at all. So I'm gonna amp it up right now even more. This was a 12-star matchup. 15 stars just for the Wrecking Crew. Everybody else gets 0 fucking stars on the night. Please don't hurt me, Mr. Seaton. This is a positive review. Always is. Always will be. I love you, bro. I love you guys. You absolutely make my night every time I'm with you guys. After this awesome tag team matchup, we got something that was mildly disappointing to me. Maybe because if you watched the preview and predictions, you know that this was one of the matchups on this night I was very much looking forward to. The grudge match between Cash Flow, INC, Mr. Ken Broadway, and MBK, Matt Travis, in a feud that has just been bubbling and boiling to the point where it's going to burn your face off even if you get near the steam that's emitting off of it. You don't even have to touch the hot water. You don't have to get near these two guys. All you have to do is be in and around the vicinity of them, and this is going to burn you. That's how hot this feud is right now. So I was expecting a barn burner. I was expecting it to go to the extreme. It's extreme warfare. But we had Ken Broadway come out there, very surprisingly, getting Matt Travis in a vicious suplex and then delivering a Shinsuke Nakamura-esque knee to the face of MBK and securing a very quick victory on this night. I was not happy with the match booking because I wanted to see these guys really go at it. I thought it deserved a little bit more time than that, but this would not be the end, and I appreciate where the story ended up going. In the moment, when it happened, I was like, wow, that's probably the most bullshit thing I've ever seen at House of Glory. But as we get a little further in the card, you will understand why I'm okay with it, because it's far, far from done with MBK and Broadway. We had Mikey Whipwreck come out to the ring to confront the Amazing Red. The Amazing Red was trained by Mikey Whipwreck. He slept on Mikey's couch at one point the night before he was signed by TNA Wrestling all those years ago. Amazing Red's career in TNA is what put him on the map with me. And probably with most of you guys. I don't think I ever seen a talent like Red. The closest comparison I could get to at that time, if you would have asked me, I would have said he reminds me of a young Rey Mysterio. And at this point, I think he's even better than Rey Mysterio. He may not have the accolades, but if you want to look at what he does in the ring and the fact that he has a school and he is training and giving back to the business tenfold more than half of the main roster has done in the history of the WWE, you gotta have respect and love for the Amazing Red. But as of right now, the Amazing Red is a full-fledged, loyal member of the House of Gangone with an absolutely beautiful mask. A beautiful mask with a red mohawk, and it was creepy as fuck. He removed the mask only to reveal some very Joker-esque style paint on his face. Red is definitely in a dark and twisted place right now. I am loving every minute that is happening in this story with the Amazing Red in the House of Gangone. And Mikey Whipwreck, regardless how many F-bombs he wanted to drop on us in the middle of the ring, and how he just gave this very emotional and very, very genuine plea for the Amazing Red to get his shit back in line. What are you doing? This is not how I taught you. This is not the Red that I know. And what would he get for his concern? What would he get for his love? What would he get for his reaching out to his former pupil? He would get his ass beat by the Amazing Red. Very, very vicious style. All for Anthony Gangone. And I loved every minute of it. This is what pro wrestling is supposed to be like. Deep, meaningful storylines, long-running history between its combatants, and everything about this was absolutely beautiful. It's adding to the mystique and the mystery as to the reason why all of a sudden Red has just accepted his fate. He stopped battling against the grain and just is going with it. And I'm part of the House of Gangone, and this is it. And it's insane to see. And I'm sure there's lots of you out there that want to see Red just snap the hell out of it and turn around and kick Gangone's teeth right down his throat. But you know what? This guy is loving every minute. Absolutely beautiful. I could not be happier with the way this storyline is developing. It's as if I was writing it myself. It's absolutely turning out to be one of the best things happening in all of wrestling. All of wrestling. So if you're missing out, make sure you get your asses down to the next one and go to House of Glory's YouTube channel and start watching some of the stuff because you're missing out. You are missing out. Violet! How do I go about this without being mean? Because I don't want to be mean to anybody. I love everybody. Violet is a beautiful girl. Lots of you guys are all over Violet just based on her looks. But if you want to go based on what I've seen in the ring, after going for over a year, coming up on 2 years, attending every House of Glory show that has been put in front of me, I'm going to tell you that I'm still not impressed by Violet. I feel like she should be way better than she is. I don't know if she's just nervous before she goes out there and it affects her performance because she's performing in a live crowd. I remember seeing her have much better outings at the very beginning when she was wrestling against Sonya. And maybe that's because she had more familiarity with Sonya. Maybe she was comfortable with Sonya because they trained together and they came up together. So their matches together at the beginning, like that street fight they had last year, I was into that. I enjoyed everything that she was bringing to the table. All of a sudden, since she stole the women's championship and has she with her on her side, it's like Violet don't care. And her wrestling comes off that way. That's just me. Honest truth. That's what we do here at the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. It's not disrespect. It's me bringing to light what I see in the hopes that she gets better. Because she's got a great character. And she's got a great look. And I feel like she understands the aura of professional wrestling. But she just needs to work a little bit harder in the ring. And she could be one of the next big things in the women's division. Just based off of her character alone. She's just got to amp it up a little bit more in the ring. Because you have a girl like Catrid come out, making her House of Glory debut, that seemingly had more charisma, had more of an aura about herself, an excitement, and an ability to wrestle. That in her first match, to me, watching what we saw on Friday night, this girl is already better than Violet. And that's not a knock on Violet. It's just me telling you and calling it like I see it. I loved Catrid. I liked her outfit. I liked her attitude. She had a great spark in her face. She was excited. She was ready to go. She came out. The crowd was maybe like, meh. And she was like, yeah, come on. What's wrong with you guys? Let's go. Let's do this. This is wrestling. And I'm just like, yeah, all right. I'm with it. Let's go. And then the action got started. And it takes two to tango. So Violet did play a part in Catrid looking as good as she did. So obviously the girl can wrestle. I'm not saying she can't wrestle. I'm just expecting her to be better by now. Much better by now than what she is. And for a girl like Catrid to come in her first match and be a little bit above, at the very least on par with somebody who has been wrestling for House of Glory for the last 2, maybe 3 years, just throws up some red flags for me. Nothing to be negative. I'm not being negative, just calling it like I see it, which is what I do. Violet does get the win here, but that again is not the story behind Violet and what is going on with her in the women's division. She has been taking the loss of her championship to heart as of late. She has been being mean as fuck to her gigantic woman servant, who has been helping her keep that title around her waist until she lost it to Sonya Strong at the High Intensity 7 show. And it came somewhat to a head tonight as she continued to berate and get in the face of in the middle of the ring. All of a sudden, the music of Big Daddy Cruz would hit. Now, if you've been watching House of Glory's YouTube channel, you will have known that he has already made his intentions somewhat known, because he's got a little thing for the BB Dubs. And she's got a beautiful face. I don't blame him if he's got a thing for her. I actually think they make a fantastic couple. They would work absolutely great together. Big Daddy C comes out to the ring. He gives a bouquet of flowers. Violet thought it was going to be for her, but he pushed her skinny little ass to the side and he went for the main course in She took her flowers, very, very happy to receive them. And then Big Daddy walked his way out. And on his way out, Violet would snatch the flowers from She and smash them across the face of the big mama. And it was surprising, to say the least. And why She didn't just absolutely obliterate Violet when she did that, I will never know. Violet must have something on this girl. We are going to have to go to the next show in December to find out how this progresses, as I am very interested in the story that is being told in Violet and She. Just as I'm interested in anything that involves the House of Gangone, we had the House of Gangone taking on Private Party and Leroy Green in a 6-man tag team matchup. This match, before it even got started, got stalled by my monster, my juggernaut, my champion of House of Glory, the Juba. He came out and made a statement. He wrapped his python-like arms around the skinny little neck of Isaiah Cassidy and sucked the life right out of him like a gigantic boa constrictor, feeding on its prey before he was going to swallow him whole. But he chose not to swallow him whole and to leave his dead carcass laying on the rampway just where it should, showing Private Party and Leroy that the House of Gangone, and especially Juba, is not to be taken lightly. It is not to be messed with, and we are not here to dance and play video games. We are here to break bones and kill people, and that is what the House of Gangone is all about. And Juba showed that in full force on this night. It was beautiful. But then Rob Blatt's got to come out, right? We got the House of Glory corporate suit coming out with his beard and his little coif hairdo, and the crowd gets all over his balls, and he's like, I don't understand. Why do you guys boo me? I'm like the House of Glory guy. Because you're the authority, bro. It's our job to boo you, my friend. And it's nothing personal. It's just you had to come out and you had to ruin everything by inserting Monte Kia into this match when he already wrestled tonight in that battle royal. It was unnecessary. I don't think that Mark Quinn and Leroy Green were at so much of a disadvantage, right? They could have survived if they're as good as they say they are, right? But no, you got to give them a little extra help. You got to slip them a little butter for their toast, right? Damn you, Rob Blatt. Damn you. I'm getting out of control. I'm feeling my character creeping up inside me. But that's besides the case. This was a fantastic 6-man tag team matchup. The action in this was fast and furious. We saw a lot of fantastic triple teams, double teams throughout this entire matchup. Juba was a shining star. Smiley, as always, does nothing but the best you are going to see all night long. And Smiley was actually a focal point in the story that was being told in this match. And over the last couple of months at House of Glory, Leroy has been appealing to Smiley to please come back to the House of Glory side of the equation. Anthony Gangone brainwashed Smiley just over a year ago and brought him into the House of Gangone, stealing him from House of Glory. And it is obviously something that has been bothering Leroy. He doesn't want to fight Smiley. He has a respect and a love as a friend, obviously, for Smiley, because he's just been trying so hard to snap Smiley out of it. He keeps bringing the smiley face mask into the matches with him, and every time Smiley sees this mask, it's as if he's mildly woken up just for a second, and he looks at it, and he's not sure what to do. Last time, he put the mask down and attacked. He didn't give a shit about it. But this time, it seems as each time he sees it, he's getting more and more intrigued at the opportunity to maybe come back. But then, Mark Quinn delivers a reverse Hurricane Rana to the guy while he's holding the mask face to face with Leroy in the middle of the ring, and then secures the win for his team, defeating Smiley in the middle of the ring, which would prompt Smiley on social media after the show to be like, oh, Leroy, you want to talk about House of Glory and how I should be part of their team, but look at what the hell you guys just did to me tonight. And I echo those sentiments, and I tell you, Smiley, to tell Leroy and House of Glory to stick it where the sun don't shine, stay with the champ, stay with the wrestling god, Anthony Gangone, or as I tell each and every one of you guys, whenever yous are ready and you want some real representation and you want somebody that's going to bring the hammer down in your corner, you know where to find me, bro. That's all you and Juba truly need is a nightmare to bring to the world of House of Glory. Just saying. Sami Callihan and Bully Ray. Now, I was under the impression that this match was not for the Crown Jewel Championship, but that was not the case. This was a Crown Jewel title matchup, and the story in this one would be the controversy with the referee. Halfway through this matchup, which was absolutely brutal, these guys were bringing it to each other just as hard as you would see in any ECW match anywhere in the 90s. It was great to be there to witness in person, to behold. They definitely were not pulling punches, and there was no holding back with these two guys. But the controversy with the refs was the biggest story. As the original referee went down, he was accidentally struck in the face by Bully Ray, and he went down. In the whole time that this man was unconscious on the floor, we had another referee come in, and we had Bully Ray secure a 3 count, which was administered by the new referee, and he was crowned the new Crown Jewel champion of House of Glory, and I was losing my shit. First of all, like I said, I was surprised that it was a title match, and now I'm thinking, my God, Bully Ray is the House of Glory Crown Jewel championship. What does this mean for the Crown Jewel title? But then the original referee wants to come to his senses. He wants to reverse the decision and call for a disqualification on the Bully for punching him dead in the face, rendering him unconscious for the whole entire second half of this great, great matchup. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. This is good wrestling storytelling. You teased the title change, but at the end of the day, it stays with Sami Callihan. But once again, this would continue to escalate even further as Shapiro and the Trust, Evander James and the Royal Masons, attack the ring. Evander James focusing solely on the Crown Jewel champion Sami Callihan, and the Royal Masons keeping Bully Ray from getting involved and stopping the attack. At some point, Bully and Sami would gain the advantage over Matthew Ryan Shapiro's team, for the lack of a better word, and would eventually start working together. There was a table set up in the ring, as there usually is when Bully Ray is around, and he and Sami would work together to put one of the Masons through the table, exploding it into dust. I don't know where they got this table from. If they got this table from King Grant's tomb, or if they got it from Mummies R Us, this fucking table, when it exploded into dust. Not just shards and pieces of wood, dust. That's how hard the impact was. Absolutely incredible. Powerbomb from the top rope through the table by Bully Ray to one of the Masons, and it seemed as if when after this was said and done and the dust cloud cleared, Sami and Bully were face to face in the ring, and it looked as if there was going to be some sort of a showing of respect between the two, but that would not be the case when you're talking about Mr. OVE. Sami Callihan delivers a low blow to Bully Ray and walks out still the Crown Jewel champion. Let's see if this is over, because I don't think so, and I fully expect Bully to come back for some revenge at some point. I'm sure we'll start hearing about it on Busted Open Radio this week, probably sooner than later, and I can't wait to see these two go at it once again. Honestly, we're bringing the truth and the hammer like we do. I expected it to be a lot more hardcore than it was, and you can't blame me for that. We're talking about Bully Ray, one of the godfathers of hardcore wrestling and ECW, and the guy in Sami Callihan who put on one of the most hardcore matches of 2018 with Pentagon Dark in Impact Wrestling. I expected to see some blood. You know, I expected to see a lot more weapons. I expected it to really boil over to the extreme, but the fact that it didn't get that out of hand does not take away from the fact that they delivered on a very dramatic, highly intense match with a great finish that turned out to turn into a whole nother story in and of itself with Shapiro and his goons and Evander James, and it was just great. It was just great. We then had intermission where I got some water in my system. I called my family, checked in, make sure everybody was going night-night like AJ Styles, and then I resumed in my seat to enjoy the second half of the show, as it was now title time, as the three main titles in House of Glory, besides the Crown Jewel Championship, were being defended on the second half of this card, and they kicked it off with the World Heavyweight title. Anthony Gangone versus PCO. This was an amazing match, not just because I love Anthony Gangone and am a member of the house, but because PCO is not human. This French-Canadian T2 Terminator is absolutely breathtaking to watch. Just in seeing him in this night, I don't even remember him as a Quebecer anymore. That guy, that Pierre Ouellette, or Jean-Pierre Lafitte, or Quebecer number 2, that guy's dead. That guy is dead. His body was dug up by some Frankenstein guy somewhere, and was reassembled, reanimated together, given 3 initials as his name, PCO, and then came to the world of pro wrestling to absolutely shock and flabbergast the rest of us as to how this guy, who's at the age he is, looks like a sick freak, would make Scott Steiner jealous, can actually move in the ring, can perform at a top-notch level, probably performing better now than he was in his youth in the tag team division of the WWF. This guy went toe-to-toe with a wrestling god and didn't skip a beat. Many times looked as if PCO was going to win the House of Glory Championship from the leader of the house. This match was great. I had zero expectations going in. I didn't know what PCO brought to the game. But now I do. And I hope to see more of him. It was great having him down at House of Glory. This match was fucking great. PCO had this match won. And had it not been for the involvement of Juba and Smiley and Thomas Oden and Ezekiel Lewis and Bones, and most importantly, the amazing Red, we just might have a new House of Glory champion, and possibly one that would be unbeatable by any one single man. PCO is a freak. The guy looked fantastic, and I'm privileged and I'm pleased to have had the chance to have gotten to see him wrestle, especially in the midst of this revival that he is having right now. You couldn't have picked a better opponent for him than the champ. Anthony Gangone made this guy look like gangbusters, bro. He is one of the best in the business for a reason. That's why he has my respect and he has my loyalty always. The guy is the biggest thing in House of Glory. Without Gangone, a match like this maybe doesn't go off that well. It is what it is. I'm not kissing ass and I'm not sucking up. I tell it the way it is. I call it like I see it. If Gangone went out there and shit the bed, the hammer would come down on him just like it does every Monday and Tuesday night on the biggest names in the business. Anthony Gangone deserves to be one of the biggest names in the business. And I'm sure he will be one day. This match is proof of it. How do you go up against an inhuman person like that? A walking 300-pound zombified Terminator. I don't know how many different ways to describe this guy, because there's just something unlike anything I've seen in recent memory. It's almost like a callback to those 80s style wrestlers, like just some psycho man beast. It was amazing. The match was fantastic. Just like the tag team matchup was fantastic. LAX, as always, bringing the fun to House of Glory as much as they bring the ferocity and the fire and the fight to House of Glory. There is always fun to be had when LAX is in the building. And if you're not there, you're missing out. It's one of the best times you are going to have throughout the entirety of the show. Soon as that Latino music hits everybody's shoulders starts going, the Puerto Rican flags start waving, everybody's hips start swaying, even Rich Swann got into the action. The music was so good and so infectious, especially in that Latino atmosphere in the middle of the NYC, and we had everything moving and jiggling, and Rich Swann was in the middle of the ring, and he was doing his thing, to the point where Santana was just like, hey, let's do this, and he grabbed him, and we got Santana and Rich Swann dancing in the middle of the ring to start this matchup off. Absolutely unexpected, but that's what you get with LAX. You get, and you should expect the unexpected, and you should expect there to always be a good time. It didn't matter that they were about to throw down. They were going to start this match off dancing, but the dancing would soon turn to destruction, as 4 of the best athletes House of Glory has ever seen, Ortiz, Santana, Rich Swann, and ACH, put on the best tag team matchup I have seen live in my life. I've been to many events live. I've been to WrestleManias. I've been to Survivor Series. I've been to... what the hell else have I been? I've been to an Elimination Chamber. I've been to all kinds of WWE events. I've been to every House of Glory event over the last 2 years, and I'm telling you, this was my favorite tag team matchup I have ever been present to watch. Absolutely beautiful. You want to talk about poetry in motion, you got to talk about Rich Swann and ACH. The way these guys move their bodies in the ring is absolutely unbelievable. There's a fluidity to the way that they move, and they complemented LAX so perfectly. LAX is just slightly bigger, a little bit more powerful than both of these guys. They have the advantages in experience, but their chemistry, Rich Swann and ACH, was very, very visible, and you could see that they wanted to win this matchup. It was a great tag team affair. What a contest. If I'm Rich Swann, I'm going to ACH after the show, and I'm going to be like, yo, man, we got something going here. This could be a good tag team. That's something that they should maybe think about taking on the indies with them. Or maybe you bring ACH back to Impact with you, bro, because you guys got like a magic to you. You just seem to work. You don't find that so easily with everybody. There was just something that seemed right about Rich Swann and ACH. And the way the match quality went on and the way it would come to an end, it was just absolutely great. And LAX retains their championship in this great tag team matchup. I absolutely loved it. This was an awesome match. ACH and Swann are an awesome team, and I really, really hope to see them do that again. Even if they only come and do it at House of Glory. You want to be exclusively a tag team in House of Glory? I'll be fine with that, because you guys definitely worked well as a team. It looked great, and the chemistry you have with one another and the match they put on with LAX is the only proof you need. So if you missed it, as soon as it goes up on the House of Glory YouTube channel, make sure you watch that tag team matchup. You will not be disappointed. Absolutely fantastic. And then the night would come to an end with our main event. And this time it was for the ladies. For the first time ever. A first time ever that actually means something. Not like all the first time evers we get in the WWE. This is the first time ever in the history of the promotion that the Women's Championship will be featured in the main event of the evening. Now, granted, we've only had the Women's Championship in House of Glory for a few months, and there was no need to feature it in the main event, as Violet never even actually won it. So there was not really any true prestige behind it until Sonya Strong won it. She has been putting on the best matches in the women's division in House of Glory for the last 2 years consistently. She has been taking on Mae Young Classic level competition, stars like Mia Yim, stars like Tessa Blanchard, and now stars like Kimber Lee. All of which I have got to meet thanks to being a loyal member of the House of Glory myself, and going to each and every one of these shows, getting a chance to meet the talent is always another reason why you got to get out to this. But this matchup was great. They have tangled in House of Glory before. That match is live on the House of Glory channel right now. But this match was probably much better than that one. I haven't watched the first one, so it's unfair for me to actually even say that, but I have to believe it because they have such a great chemistry with one another. They seem to be comfortable, and they were pulling off some great things in the ring. Kimberly showing why she deserves to be put in the conversation to be in contention for the House of Glory Women's Championship just based off of her match against the champ tonight. However, this was a little shorter than I thought it should have been. That might have been maybe because a few segments maybe ran long. Maybe we were crunched for time. I know it was getting late. It was already after 11 by the time we got to the women's match. So, we got a late start on the evening, which happens sometimes. It's nobody's fault. But, it's something that you come to expect with independent wrestling. So I'm feeling like maybe the main event was a little bit rushed. Not because it was a women's main event, but just because of the true constraints that they may have had to get the hell out of Amazura, so we had to maybe take a good 5 minutes or so off this match. At least I'm hoping that was the case because it was a little bit short. As impressive as it was, I thought as a main event they were going to maybe drag it on a little bit more, maybe let it get a little more intense, show a little bit more of an even playing field. Even though these girls matched up so well with one another, it was a very balanced contest. It was very, very evenly matched. And Kimberly almost won this match on multiple occasions, but none more important than on the final time. Kimberly got Sonya Strong in a pinning predicament, but Sonya would be able to reverse the pin into a cradle of some sort and surprise Kimberly just enough for the referee's hand to come down on that number 3, and Sonya Strong would retain the title. And again, this story continues post-match as Sonya Strong, celebrating with the crowd, throwing up the X, proudly holding the belt, goes to extend her hand in respect for Kimberly, who refuses to do so. She did not acknowledge it. She, in fact, swatted her away as a get the hell out of here, bitch. I was going to win that match. I won that match. You got lucky. And I'm loving that. I'm loving the fire and the attitude and Kimber showing just how much it meant to her to win that match. How much it would mean to her to be the House of Glory champion, because she's not going to accept no handshake now. That shit was mine. Sonya Strong, maybe for the first time in her career, might have to watch out. Because if Kimberly comes back for another shot at that House of Glory Women's Championship, she just might walk out the new champ. That's not something I say very often. We all know how high I am on Sonya Strong, and I think she could beat the whole entire world. But after what I seen on Friday night, and everything that I know that Kimberly can bring to the table, I am for the first time somewhat worried about mi morena de la corazón. De mi corazón. I'm sorry. I'm sure it works either way. But it remains to be seen, as now Extreme Warfare 2018 is in the books, and we get ready for the December 15th show, the night before WWE's TLC. We are going to get ready to do it again at House of Glory. House of Glory 8 is going to be something that cannot be missed. I have no idea what they're going to throw at me. Hopefully you guys get all of the announcements up before I put the preview up in December so that I'm not missing any matches on the preview. But, that's my problem. That's not your problem. I will do the best I can to bring you guys the most accurate information that I can. I was not wrong in anything that I brought to you guys, but it sometimes is missing a few matches as they're developing the show for even days up until we get to it. So, as I tell you guys always, the card is subject to change, and there is not one match that has been announced for the next show in December, but I'm telling you right now, you need to get your asses to it, so go to hogwrestling.net and pick up your tickets right now. Just make sure you leave one front row ticket for this guy, because I haven't got mine yet. But I'm going to go get it. Probably right now. And that's the way it's going to go, because I am going to be at the next House of Glory show, just like I have been at every single House of Glory show, and I will continue to be at every House of Glory show until the day they bring me into the family and make me a real member of House of Glory. The day is coming. Keep your eyes on this channel, because I will let you know as soon as it does. There's a manager in the making here, people. All I need is for you to let me know how it's done. Thank you all so very much for your support of independent wrestling and House of Glory. This one ran really long. We don't usually go this long on a House of Glory review. I hope you guys stuck it the whole way through. Thank you so much for doing so. This has been the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's review of Extreme Warfare 2018. My name is Nick Nightmare. This is my team, Thor the Sledgehammer, the Wrestling God of Thunder, and the official Sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. My little buddy and World Heavyweight Champion of all the microphones in all the world, Mr. Blue the Snowball. We are so happy to be here with you guys. Thank you all so very much. Do not forget to hit that fucking subscribe button if you are not a member of the Sledgehammer Club. Hit that subscribe button right now and then smash that like button. Share this video with all your wrestling buddies all over the wrestling world, especially if they love House of Glory, because this is your official home for all of your House of Glory reviews, previews, results, and the never-ending quest of Nick Nightmare to be part of the company. So thank you all for being here. That is going to do it, and we are out of here, and we will see you next time for House of Glory 8 in December, right here on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.